Sabina says. Player says, what is it? Sabina says. Option 1 of 2 what? Option 2 of 2 wait. Option 1 of 2 what? Sabina says come home. Option 1 of 3 I will. Soon. Option 2 of 3 stop bothering me. Option 3 of 3 I know. Option 1 of 3 Sabina says you're lying. Sometimes I think you must despise me. But maybe it's worse than that. Maybe I'm nothing to be regarded at all. What am I to you now? An annoyance. A bother. A nuisance to be ignored while you lead another life in London? Was there ever an ounce of love in your heart for me? Option 1 of 3 of course there was. Option 2 of 3 this was never about love, Sabina. Option 3 of 3 as much as you had for me. Option 1 of 3 Sabina says but no longer. Option 1 of 2 I hate talking to you when you're like this. Option 2 of 2 say nothing. Option 1 of 2 I hate Sabina says you hate everything about me. Option 1 of 2 I don't hate you. Option 2 of 2 say nothing. Option 1 of 2 I don't hate you. Sabina says you don't love me. It doesn't matter. Go back to counting your money, the only thing that makes you happy. This house is so lonely without him. Player says stop. Sabina says your presence would only amplify the grief. Player says stop. Sabina says leave me alone. Leave me alone with the memory of him. Player says stop. Just leave me alone. Just for one night. One night where I don't have to dream about him. Please. Thank you. August says. Player says. August says. Option 1 of 2 hello, August. Option 2 of 2 say nothing. Option 1 of 2 August says. Option 1 of 2 what am I supposed to do, just wait here with you. Option 2 of 2 I know you aren't going to say anything. August says. Player says you never say anything. August says. Option 1 of 2 I am sorry I couldn't do anything for you. Option 2 of 2 say nothing. Option 1 of 2 I am August says. Option 1 of 2 I am so tired, August. Option 2 of 2 I suppose there's not much one can do against plague. Option 1 of 2 I am so tired, August. August says. Player says do you get tired where you are? August says. Player says the last time I saw you, I said good night to you. I couldn't come to the bed, so I stood in the doorway. I just stood in the dark. You didn't say anything back so I said it again. I don't know how long I stood there. Just waiting for you to say, good night. August says. Player says. August says. Player says you still look the same age to me. I wonder if I'll ever forget your face. August says. Player says do I remember your mother as she is? Option 1 of 2 I remember loving her. Option 2 of 2 or am I just thinking of some perversion of Daniel's portrait? Option 1 of 2 I remember loving her. August says. Option 1 of 2 can you ever picture someone clearly if you love them? Option 2 of 2 can you ever picture someone clearly if you hate them? Option 1 of 2, can you ever pay? August says. Player says I love you, little boy. Option 1 of 2, I wish I didn't. Option 2 of 2, I love you so much. Player says sometimes I wish I could die so I wouldn't feel it anymore. August says. Player says but I can't. So I retrace my steps every night. And I find my way back to her. Back to you. August says. Player says I love you, August. Good night. Player says what happened to this place? Where is Prestigion? And where are Socrates and Saint Grobian? Grobian wasn't on the ship of fools. Melancholy says. Player says won't you answer me? Melancholy says no thoughts for Beatrice? Player says you are Beatrice, aren't you? Melancholy says once. I was a voice of caution, of prudence. Player says and now? Melancholy says more and less than caution. The ache of doubt that stiffens to paralysis. Paralysis that breeds despair. Player says Melancholy. Option 1 of 2, what happened to you? Option 2 of 2, what happened to the others? Option 1 of 2, what happened to you? Melancholy says what happens to you happens to us. The foundations of the city are still moored within the ocean of your mind. Its court does not rule your mind. Your mind rules the court. Once reason, curiosity, and the foolishness of youth dwelt under the aegis of your intellect. I am all that remains, the melancholy of life's autumn. Option 1 of 3, but it is only June. Option 2 of 3, is that it, then? Option 3 of 3, how did it come to this? Melancholy says you have turned your gaze to your own dark center. You know the courses of your own life. You know how the choices you've made have brought you here. Player says what am I supposed to do about it now? Melancholy says change your life. Player says. Wait. I shouldn't be here. I needed to help someone. Is Casper alright? Melancholy says so your thoughts aren't entirely turned inward. There is still something in you that cares for others in spite of your melancholy. Perhaps there is still hope for us. Wake up, Andreas. Journal. Golden Hand Inn. Player says the room is sparse compared to what I'm used to. Go to bed. I can't go back to sleep now. I need to find Casper. Golden Hand Inn. Golden Hand Guest Room. Golden Hand Guest Room. Golden Hand Guest Room. Meadow. Golden Hand Inn. Church and truckers. Meadow. Mill. Martin Bauer and Widow Kemperin. Mill. Our Lady of the Labyrinth. Mill. Martin Bauer and Widow Kemperin. Drucker House. Central Town. Town Commons. Zimmerman House. Zimmerman House. Otto. Otto says hello, Andreas. Enjoying the bonfire? Your costume looks just like a fancy night dress. Option 1 of 2. I am looking for Casper. Have you seen him? Otto says no, I haven't seen the boy tonight. A group of townspeople went into the forest to collect herbs, though. You might see if he wandered off with them. Enjoy the festival while you're at it, Andreas. We're showing the abbot what for. Otto. Gertner Farm. Central Town. Gertner Farm. Johann Bauer. Otto. Zimmerman House. Church and Druckers. Town Commons. Central Town. Drucker House. Martin Bauer at Mill. Our Lady of the Labyrinth. Meadow. Player says there's a lot of commotion tonight. It sounds like everyone's gone to the woods. Forest. Smokey's home. Smokey's home. Church and Druckers. Smokey's home. Forest. Forest. Smokey's home. Brother Wojciech uses time in almost all of the Abbey's cooking. Maybe because it grows so easily here. Smokey's home. Meadow. With Father Gernot's new restrictions, the townsfolk can't even gather sticks without a fee. Meadow. Shrine of Waterfall. Shrine of Saint Satian. Casper. Casper. Casper says, Master Andreas. What are you doing out here? Option 1 of 2. Casper, thank God. I was worried when you didn't come back. Option 2 of 2. Casper, what the hell are you still doing up? Why didn't Option 1 of 2. Casper, Option 2 of 2. Option 1 of 2. Casper says, I was at the bonfire with Killian, but I heard a ruckus from deeper in the woods. I left to go see what it was. Player says, Father Gernot. What are you doing out here? Gernot says, I was chasing one of the townsfolk, but lost track of the costume buffoon. The forest is off limits. I'll figure out who's breaking the rules and excommunicate them myself. Casper says, what was that? Gernot says, someone is screaming in town. They're really taking this nonsense too far this year. Option 1 of 3. Let's go back to town and see what's happened. Option 2 of 3. Let's go back to town together and see what the noise was. Option 3 of 3. What are we still doing here? Come on. Forest. Casper says, I've never seen these flowers before. I wonder where they found them. Who was that running off anyway? Gernot says it's too hard to tell who's who in those stupid costumes. Option 1 of 2. We can worry about that later. Let's check on the town first. Option 2 of 2. Who cares? Let's go see what the screaming is about. Option 1 of 2. We can worry about that later. Let's check on the town first. Carl says, Till says what? Ill Peter says, dear God. Peter says, Werner, is he? Werner says, dead. Yes, I'm afraid so. Someone released the rope. The platform crushed him. Gernot says, what? How did this happen? Werner says, Baltus and Lenhart and I heard the crash and stepped outside to see what had happened. Baltasar says, right, and then we saw a figure in a costume rushing off from the rat house. Werner says it must have been whoever released the rope. Peter says, and what were you doing during all of this, Lenhart? Lenhart says, enjoying a light meal with these gentlemen. Ah. What a shame you can't blame me for this, Peter. Player says, Casper, look to see if Otto had a note. Casper says, huh? Player says, do it. Casper says, no, master. There's nothing. Player says, are you certain? Casper says, what were you expecting? Player says, I'm not sure. Eva says, my God. Otto. No, no. Peter says, you. The abbot must have killed him. The bastard always had it out for Otto. We all knew it. Yuan says, we need answers. Gernot says, how dare you? I won't just stand here and be accused of such a foul act by a peasant. Peter says, go after him. Casper says, wait, no. The abbot was with us. He's innocent. Option 1 of 2, that's right. There's no way he could have killed Otto. Option 2 of 2, Casper is right, even if we don't have any proof. Option 1 of 2, that's right. There's no way he could have killed Otto. Peter says, grab the artist and the boy, too. We'll get to the bottom of this. Player says, Casper, run. Player says to the abbey. Gernot says, brothers. To the library, now. Peter says they ran through the church. This way. Player says they blocked the door. Peter says, Andreas, get out of the way. Otto's death demands justice. Player says the abbot couldn't have killed Otto. He was with us when we found the body. Yuan says that's true, he did arrive with you, but you don't know where he was before that, do you, Andreas? Peter says, who else would want to kill Otto? Coward. Killer. Andreas, move. Option 1 of 4, I am not moving. I won't let you in. Option 2 of 4, if you go after Gernot, the real killer will get away. Option 3 of 4, I don't like his stance any more than you, but violence is not the answer here, Peter. Option 4 of 4, stand your ground. Option 2 of 4, if you go after Gernot, the real killer will get away. Fabian says no mercy. Carl says face us. Till says he's a monster. Peter says if those monks don't come out, we'll set fire to the whole place and cook them. Gernot says you've all gone mad. Option 1 of 3, even if you don't trust the abbot, trust me. I swear he wasn't the one to do it. He was with me. Option 2 of 3 Look, Gernot wasn't the only one who disagreed or disliked Otto. There must be someone else who killed him. Option 3 of 3 You all have good reasons to hate the abbot, but he's not the culprit here. Option 1 of 3 Even if you don't trust the abbot, trust Casper says I was there too. Master Andreas is telling the truth. Peter says fine, damn it. You've got one day to find whoever you think is the real killer, Andreas. Otherwise, we will come back for the abbot. Eva says Andreas, all I want is justice for my husband. Please, you must find the murderer. Option 1 of 2 I swear I will find whoever really killed Otto. Option 2 of 2 Eva, Otto was a good man. I won't stop until I find who killed him. Casper says the peasants are really convinced that Gernot killed Otto, but it was impossible. Option 1 of 3 Peter's temper got in the way. The abbot is an easy target because he was at odds with Otto and his cause. Option 2 of 3 It was no secret that Gernot and Otto were at odds. Option 3 of 3 I don't wish death on the man, but the abbot is an ass. Option 1 of 3 Peter. Casper says Master, Peter was furious. He's only giving you a day to find the murderer. Why'd you even agree to find who really killed Otto, anyway? It didn't turn out well last time, did it? Why do it again? Option 1 of 3 Everyone deserves justice, Casper. Option 2 of 3. Honestly, anything to keep from going back to Nuremberg. Option 3 of 3 I don't want to talk about it. Option 1 of 3 Casper says you have a good heart, Master Andreas. So who do you think did it, then? Where do we even start? Player says we should talk to Lenhart. He always hated the peasants and supported the abbot. Casper says he was very vocal against Otto in the town commons the other day. Option 1 of 2 He might have hated Otto enough to kill him. It's worth talking to him and finding out. Option 2 of 2 Even if he didn't kill Otto, he might know who else had the motivation to. Option 1 of 2 He might have hated. Casper says oh, what about Martin Bauer? When we saw him talking to Otto, they seemed to be arguing over something. Player says It's not likely. Martin supported Otto and the peasants. Option 1 of 2 Martin was always an ass. If they had a bad enough argument, he could have wanted to kill Otto. Option 2 of 2 It would be worth talking to Martin to see what they were discussing. He might have an idea of who would want to kill Otto. Option 1 of 2 Martin was always an ass. Casper says good idea. Who else? Option 1 of 3 I can't think of anyone else who would want to kill Otto. Option 2 of 3 I am sure we can find some other suspects. Player says we'll have to do some more investigating to find out who the murderer is, but we'd better move fast. Casper says could the murderer confess to Father Thomas? Option 1 of 2 Probably not. That would be foolhardy. Option 2 of 2 Well, maybe. Even if the murderer did, Father Thomas is bound by the seal of confession. He won't. Option 1 of 2 Probably not. Player says, however, we could eavesdrop on confessions. Since St. John's Eve just happened, the townsfolk will all come in to confess. Casper says oh, yeah. One of the townsfolk might have heard something, anyway. That's a good place to start. Player says we could also ask around at the Golden Hand. Option 1 of 2 The travelers might have seen or heard something useful. Option 2 of 2 People will tell outsiders anything. They might have heard something we missed. Option 1 of 2 The travelers might have seen or heard something useful. Casper says what about the person who ran by us in the forest? They were wearing these flowers. I've never seen them before. Player says right, we have to find the source of those flowers in the woods. That might give us some sort of connection to the killer. Option 1 of 2 The flower might have a medicinal use. Someone with medical knowledge in Tassing might know where it grows. Option 2 of 2 We have a lot of good places to start. Even though time is short, we have a good chance at finding the real killer. Option 1 of 2 The flower might have a Casper says we should ask them. But who would have that knowledge? Player says those that I know with such a background are Brother Florian, Sister Gertrude, Agnes Steinauerin, or Werner Stahls. We have a lot of good places to start. Even though time is short, we have a good chance at finding the real killer. Alright, let's get to work. Journal.
Recognizing result document invested Cliff. Tie-in. Cliff Tid. Investigating Otto's 9. Tid. Cliff. Tie-in. Sim. Page. Rendered. Maps. It appears I'm going to be involved in solving another murder. I know that Father Gernot couldn't have killed Otto. More importantly, I can't let Peter endanger both THC library and the monks. I need to work quickly. Proof. Agrio dollar Earth Dianu. People glossary. Tab.
Options. Main menu. Cancel.
Already in the content recognition result. Pentiment. Recognizing result document. 17 hours remain. June 24th, 1525. Non-S-13B. Return to main menu. Your game was last saved 27 seconds ago. Leave game. Pentiment.
Options.